in the layout and you keep thinking, where's the button? And there we go. And a very good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our Lyceum evening. And coming to you from the Paul Christian Spiritualist Church down on the south coast of the UK. Tonight, we are travelling all the way up to the wonderful Bonnie, Scotland. And an absolute firm favourite of ours, both virtual and in person, as we've been at Paul Church, the wonderful Elizabeth Titterton. Good evening, Elizabeth.
Evening, Laurie. Thanks for inviting me back. It's really lovely, and I'm looking forward to it.
How apt, the Scots people coming in on the bells. I mean, that's got to be a sign, hasn't it, really?
Absolutely.
So, Elizabeth, spiritualism and go. No. Where do we want to go? For people joining us wherever you are, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your company during the evening. But we tend not to have so much of a topic, and we just have a free flow conversation. And please remember, everybody at home, please put your questions in. Okay, we don't comment on individuals or organisations. That's not fair unless they are here to put their case, so we don't do that. But anything else to do with spiritualism, and remember, no question is daft if you don't know the answer. It's as simple as that. But in the meantime, lovely Elizabeth, spiritualism, what was your inroad into it? What was that turning point with you where you thought, hang on, there's something more?
To be honest, I think it goes right the way back, Laurie, for me, right the way back to when I was small, really. I never feared spirit because I had them around me, from an early age. Spiritualism itself, the spirit was with me all the way up. But it was latterly, it's not been 30 years for me, 40 years for me actually getting into this particular role of the medium and spiritualism per se. It was much later, and it was loss. It was all about the loss for me that made me ask the questions about taking that route, getting more involved. And I had a few lovely mentors that kind of took me under their wing. So it was easy for me in many respects because I felt it was a right move at a particular time for me. It opened it up after my family were grown and life, had settled a lot. And I felt that was the time to really take things forward. My immediate family losses were the drivers to make me look at beyond this and make me look beyond what was really kind of regimented in me that from an early age I was told this is this, being Church of Scotland in particular. So to take that other road really into the spiritualist kind of ethos and different things was good at the time. And I think we all kind of reach a point in life where we need maybe something that is going to drive us, and that certainly did it for me. And as I say, it has to be interesting. I keep saying to younger people that I meet now when I'm doing services and things that they have to feel they want to do or look beyond. And when they do come to ask of you and ask of churches in particular, I think we have to make that accommodating for them. Because a lot of people are quite fearful, not fearful of what they might encounter, but fearful of taking that step in initially. And I think if we make it more open and more accommodating, I think people, especially the younger element, are more inclined to follow it and come, if that makes sense. I know I yammer on a lot, Lawrence. I do.
That means, no, yammering on is wonderful. I'm smiling here because we had our spiritual cafe last night. And
Lovely.
actually, this was one of the topics. I've just changed the format slightly, and I now have a list of 10 different topics.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
Somebody will pick a number at random. So, because it's just getting that conversation going is always the hard part.
Yeah.
But in there, we were talking, and this subject again came up of, it's been the mantra, hasn't it, of many spiritualist churches of we've got to get the youngsters in. I was brought up with that, and that's years ago. But it's very true. It's very easy to say, oh, we've got to appeal, we've got to get the youngsters in. I struggle with that statement, actually, because number one, to me, it's sort of like, no, you come to me.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm very much for going out and talking beyond the doors of the church.
Yes.
And number two, and what you've just touched on there, it's got to be interesting. It's got to have that, spiritualism, when it first really took hold, which is funny, I'm drifting into tomorrow's address. So anybody watch me tomorrow, you get highlights tonight. I do apologise.
You're fine.
When spiritualism first came on to the public eyes, it was very dynamic.
Very much.
It was very energetic. There was a great appetite for what spiritualism stood for, represented, and of course the demonstrators of the time, which we now lovingly refer back to as the pioneers.
Very much.
But and people that we then hear these various comments and say, well, it's not the same now because we haven't got the pioneers that we had yesterday. No, we haven't, because that was yesterday.
Yes.
So why are we not cultivating the pioneers of today? Why are we not, getting engaged with people and bringing that vitality in?
Absolutely, and we need it. We do need it, really. And I think there is that kind of plethora of mediumship, different types of mediumship. Mediums that are very regimented, that stick very much to the kind of the pioneering kind of way of doing things. And then there are others who are now quite free of. There's such a mix that people can be quite confused a lot of the time with regards to where they might want to go to, or where they might be directed to. It was a bit like that for me, really, before I actually entered a spiritualist church, because I was thinking, gosh, how do I'm here in Kintyre. There has never been a spiritualist church. I think the nearest one is in Dunoon, which is nearly, about 80 odd miles from here. So here I was never kind of privy to that. So my spiritualism developed very much from an inner pull and an inner feeling, an inner thing in me, really. And it has to be, when I go to Glasgow, in fact, as I said earlier, I'm going to Glasgow tomorrow. And one of the really nice things about going to Glasgow Association of Spiritualists are the people that embody that church, the warmth in the people that I meet when I return to Glasgow is it's special. Yeah. And the church itself is special, and it draws people in because of that, the warmth in it, like yours, Lawrence, like your lovely church. People feel warm to it. Not every church, or maybe not every whatever group has that. It can be hard. It can be difficult for people to take that step in, if you like.
Very true. And it's the engagement as well.
Yes.
That we share with people, because I always think every opportunity, everything is an opportunity for education.
Oh,
So
yes.
instead of just saying things off pat,
Mm-hmm.
actually just give a little bit of information.
Yeah.
For example, we have a couple of mediums who are very adept at doing trance philosophy in the service, which is
Wonderful.
absolutely wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we have those occasions, it's talking to people and just reminding them of, some of the ground rules, like please don't start playing drums or anything. But if you need to get up and have a wee, just do so quietly. It's not a problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And actually explaining what's going on.
Yes.
So people get an idea, because, and especially and I'm a bit fixated on trance at the moment. I'm trying to disassemble it, much to people's dismay. Because trance conjures up this image of people just sitting there talking in a funny voice, and you're not understanding the mechanics of what's actually happening.
True.
So to anybody new to our movement or new into a spiritualist church, without that sort of like pre-explanation to sort of like open their minds, to be a little bit, we may look very foolish. In fact, I think it's in one of, oh dear, White Eagles.
Yes.
In his book, he says he was wandering around London where elderly women would suddenly speak like a Chinaman. And he said, and I found that quite laughable. And I thought, from an external, because we look at things, don't we, from our side of the curtain.
Absolutely. And it has to be to a degree. I mean, trance is something that I've always kind of been in awe of. When I delved that wee bit deeper, and when I got really into the whole idea of trance, it was just an amazing thought process for me, because how wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. And as you say, if you are bringing people, for instance, to a trance circle or something very similar, a workshop, and explaining that, then it's much easier for them to comprehend as well. And again, that's going back to the pioneers again. And very much so. I mean, those mediums were very equipped, a lot of them, in trance. Yeah,
that's so true. I'm just admiring. I remember the photo of your new window when you had the window put in. Since the window has gone in, we are seeing these wonderful artworks, and indeed, I'm very privileged to have in our mediums room a piece of your artwork.
Oh, Lauren.
When you're working with your art, is there that level of inspiration there as well from the other world?
Very much, very much. I mean, my guide, he's running Cloud, and I've always worked with art. I've always painted, but those pictures are all done with my finger. Okay. I actually do a lot of, not all of those per se, but 3 of them out of the 4 have been done by using oils on my finger and making the cloud references in that picture by hand. And it's always spirits. It's always spirit pushing me, really, in the nicest way, to try and convey that in the clouds. Clouds, I'm totally obsessed by them, totally obsessed by skies. And especially up here, like you had wonderful sunsets, sunrises, and even in the depth of winter, when it's dark and dreary for a lot, I just see these lovely night skies, and I just love it. Love it. It's really good. But it's all spirit kind of, yes, I'm getting a nod from him now. It's all spirit kind of led, and he's thankful. He'll say that. It's lovely. It's that I'm thankful. I'm doing what I do with the pictures. But it's a great way to kind of connect with spirit. Any kind of art form, I think, is amazing, because it really does let you just drift into that wonderful place. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very true.
Mm-hmm.
And it does open up the door. Just a quick hello to people. Lovely Jan from
Yes.
France, Maggie Baker from up the road, Maria, how are you? And Marion, I hope your cold's better, darling. So nice to see you all.
Yeah.
But it does open up the doors to the different facets of mediumship.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Definitely.
again, when we first went online in 2020 and started mixing with people from Europe, and you're very prolific in America, it gave us a really good opportunity to look at our language that we use.
Yes, it did.
It was fascinating. I know that I used to drive people nuts saying evidential mediumship, philosophical mediumship.
Yeah.
And I know some people are out there going, oh, God, he's off again. But it's very interesting now, the amount of people who do refer now to their evidential medium,
Yes.
because it just clarifies.
Mm-hmm.
It opens the doors to people. It helps people understand where we are. And that your work there with that inspiration from spirit, I think that's absolutely beautiful. In fact, when I took your picture down to be reframed, because I dropped it, my fault. Didn't damage the picture, just the frame. The chap there was saying, "Oh, who's this? I've not seen this work before. It's really good." He was well into it. So what an
Really?
outlet in full. Well, there you go.
Thank you. Okay, it's just something I enjoy, and I give them out to friends mostly and family, people that I'm close to. I like to give them something like that. It's nice. It is lovely. But yeah, it's the same with the lovely spirit art that a lot of people are really, really good at conveying to people that are maybe in a reading, or maybe, you know, I've done it once before at a demonstration, and I was on platform, and it was in the middle of the address, and spirit were saying to me, you have to draw this person. You have to draw this particular person. And right there and then, in the middle of my address, this image came up. And when I finished the address, I said, I'm going to have to go straight in here and actually try and connect now with the person that I know I have to come to. And I went to this particular lady that was in the audience, and I said, I've got so-and-so. I gave her all the details. And I said to her at the end of it, I said, I'll catch you at the end, because I have something I've got to give you. I've not done it yet, but I'm going to try and draw him for you. And I did at the end, just at the very end of the service. I sat for 10 minutes and I asked them to give me it, and gave them the picture, and she still has it. And she'll say to me often, when I meet her, she'll say, that was so kind, Elizabeth. And it meant everything, just having that. It was almost like the essence of him there with us in the picture. And it's a great thing. It's really wonderful if you've got that kind of knack and you can convey that to them in the way of a picture. I got one years ago, before I ever sat to do mediumship, looked at my spiritual kind of, road. Before I ever did that, I was sitting, and I was on a bus traveling quite long. It was a long journey I was on, and there was a man I could see him doodling ahead of me and drawing in this sketchbook. And when I was getting off the bus, he handed this picture to me, and it was my grandfather. Wow. And he said, I just want you to know, dear, I don't know who you are, but I had been asked to give you this picture because he's been sitting with you the whole way on this bus.
Yeah.
And I've got it. It is through by, but it was my granddad, and it was just lovely. And it was him. It was just so him. So I was really thankful. I never ever met him again. Total stranger to me, this fellow, but he was so nice, and it was really wonderful.
I wonder sometimes, because I shared a similar experience. I didn't get a picture, but there was this gentleman, and he, without being disrespectful, he just looked odd in the way he was dressed and the way he carried himself. And he took a little stumble, and I was close by, and I just caught hold. I said, "Oh, you're right, all right." And he looked a bit. I said, "Come and sit down." And we just sat down and we spoke for about 40 minutes, and it was on a very deeply intense spiritual level.
Yeah.
And I walked away, and I'm thinking, has that actually happened?
Yeah.
Was that real? I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. And the lovely, our mutual friend, Ewan Irvin.
Ewan, yeah.
I love Ewan.
Yeah.
He was here for one of our rally weekends. And the last night of the rally, we do what we call experimental mediumship. So it's a mixture of different things. And I forget the other medium who was working with a lady who got the link through psychometry, and then was working with the lady. And Ewan just sat there, just sort of like scribbling in the background, didn't pay it much heed. But when the message finished, Ewan held up this really nice little sketch, and he went, "That's your mum, isn't it?" And the woman went, "Oh my God, yes, it is."
Lovely.
Yeah, it's just that. But this is something I think we miss out on, is the spontaneity of the other world.
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of us are close to it, to be honest. Sometimes we are. I remember doing a course, just a workshop at the Conan Doyle Centre, and we were kind of concentrating on spirit art this particular day. And before we ever started, we were back and forth, questions getting asked and whatever. And this girl said to me, "Elizabeth, I've never drawn. I can't draw. I can't paint." And I said, "No, you're losing sense of what we're trying to do today. We've got to try and connect. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be a Van Gogh or whatever. All you have to do is find yourself in the right space." And she loved it. And the stuff she produced was lovely. Absolutely amazing. It amazed her.
Yeah.
But as I say, before that, before coming or thinking about doing anything like that, she'd almost closed it off. She said, "I can't do things like that." But you can, amazingly so. And she was good. It was great. Yeah.
That's a favourite topic of mine in any of the education things here. I always say to people, if you say you can't, then you've just told yourself.
Exactly.
Please just try things.
Yeah.
How often do we miss on experience? "Oh, I can't do that."
I know.
Yeah. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Aye. I know. You're absolutely right. And I think it's that openness. I think being that kind of spiritual, on that particular spiritual path, it really does allow you to do so much if you just trust it. Because people, one of my close friends, she would say to me when I first started in Circle, "Just trust this, Elizabeth, because if you trust what you're sitting with, what will happen, what may not happen, but still have the trust in this." And I've never forgotten those words, because it really is. It's about trust and having the faith in spirit, having that wonderful faith in them. And it's so important, because it will take you anywhere you need to go.
And it's extending that trust to ourselves as well, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because we can't do this. I'm too old to do that. Why should Whatever we face, we seem to always bring up the list of negatives to begin with.
I know, it's true. It's a human form. It really, really is. I know. I was actually I gave a reading not so long ago. And in the middle of a reading, I said to this girl, "There's a wonderful horse here, just a beautiful horse, blah, blah, blah. And it went on like that anyway. And she came back to me and she said, yeah, I rode for years and years and I haven't done it in about 10 years. And I think I'll start again. And I said, I love horses, but I've never been felt able to get to grips with the whole, care of the horse more than anything else. I would have had a horse years ago, but it's the time involved. And she said, don't wait for time, Elizabeth, do it. And she was quite right, because she said, that's what I'm going to do. And she did, most probably. I never got back to her and never heard again, but I'm pretty sure she did. Went back and started it all over again and enjoyed it. And it made me think we shouldn't really hang back. We shouldn't waste time. For sure.
Well, that really is one of the main tenets of spiritualism, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Once we get into that mode that we know we survive, it makes this life even more valuable.
Absolutely.
Because in the great scheme of things, we're not here by accident, we're here by design. So, and what are we going to learn if we sit at home and don't venture out? Absolutely.
And again, I mean, I see a lot of people when they go through loss, in particular, they tend to pull themselves in. And that faith that we have, that faith within both of us here and others that are around the world, that knowledge, if you like, and trust in spirit allows us to be more equipped, perhaps, in dealing with loss. Because I felt that through every single loss that I've had. I've felt the faith in spirit, the knowledge that they're there, took me beyond that, and then wanted to really delve deeper, which I've done, thankfully. But yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a great thing. It's that understanding of the transitions that we go through.
Yes.
It never negates the human experience of grief or loss.
That's right.
I always remember at my father's funeral, and he was a spiritualist minister for 25 years. And as we were coming out of the church, a lady, and I know it was well-meaning, but she just comes out and says, I don't know why you're so sad, you know he's in a better place. Well, we nearly had two funerals. So you can see sometimes the thoughtlessness, whether that's by the mental approach to things or just because we get embarrassed trying to help people, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I know. If it's broached at all, a lot of people will shy away from even talking to someone that's going through a loss or going through loss. And I was reading just recently, and I thought it was a great thing that when we talk of loss and we talk of grief, a griever, never gets over the loss. A griever learns to live with it. And it said, all we need to be is a heart with ears, and that's to listen. We'd actually to be able to listen to them. Because a lot of people tend not to approach or would leave things instead of maybe making contact with somebody that would maybe benefit from that hug, if you like, even a virtual one. It's needed. It is needed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. And it is just by being, because we sometimes get swept up by, we want to heal everybody.
Yeah.
We want to make people feel better. We want to be able to take their pain off of them.
Yes.
And I found through experience, actually, a lot of the time, is if you just give people that space to talk.
Aye. Yes, definitely. And they do need it. They do. So important for them to feel purpose, really. have that trust and that faith to move on, because it's just horrendous. Especially close losses. It's really awful.
Yeah, and it does seem to become the last 7 weeks. I think there's 5 people I know have all been diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, I know.
I've suffered 2, 3 losses personal to me, and it's just like,
I know. And the thing is, I think the older we get, it's really, I'm touched.
No, I agree.
But you know what I mean, Lawrence? There's people that I know that have passed just recently that are of an age, and it really does make you think of your own kind of destiny or what might be. And it really does start to really, when you're in your 20s, your 30s, whatever, and you see it and you go through it. But I think as we're reaching a certain age, it does make you think more on your own kind of, which hopefully will be a long way off,
No,
but,
the ages. The ages, yeah.
I hope.
In the last words.
I know.
I'm not going to tempt fate.
Oh,
So moving on back into the world of spiritualism. How is spiritualism doing up there in north of the border? Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's flourishing, I think. It's doing well. We've got a lot of lovely mediums up here. A lot of respect for many, and they're doing a great job. A lot of people with wee churches that they've started up, running, and I take my hat off to them because it's a lot of work, and they've persevered, and they've got some lovely churches. For me, I think it's definitely of to me, I almost feel Spirit are taking us a different route. I'm kind of watchful for things happening as we move forward with it, but it's almost always about the compassionate side of spiritualism that really needs to be cultivated more. Because I think sometimes we go through the rudiments but we kind of lose sight of the real need for these churches, and those wee churches, those little churches really do give you that. They do offer that, and that personal connection is everything for them. And I think that's why they do flourish, and I think it's healthy. It's nice to see that healthy side to the spiritualist movement up here, which is good. Mm-hmm.
The majority of people who come through our doors are there because they're going through a time of loss, of grief.
Yeah.
And again, it's getting over that being embarrassed to talk about death.
Yes, definitely.
But able to bring that into and again allow people. We have our bereavement group here.
Lovely. That's really good. Yes.
That's part of the work, to allow people that space where they can talk and express. Not go into somewhere and being told, "Oh, don't worry about them; they're in a better place." And if you're lucky, you might hear from them tomorrow. It's just like,
I know. And it happens, doesn't it? It does happen.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really important. That's a great thing to have, and to be able to come and do exactly that. Because some people don't even like to express too much. They just want to be part of this group, to sit and listen. And even that in itself can be a big help. A lot of people keep on. Yeah.
And it's really interesting, some of the things that are said in there, because what seems to be a very common thing is people don't get much of an opportunity to express their grief after a while, because people will say, "Oh, you should be over that by now."
Exactly.
I think nearly every member of the group has said that has been said to them at one stage or the other.
When are you going to get back to? When are you going to be you again? When are you going to be back? Come back? Yeah, it's hard. So difficult when you hear that. And I think, again, I don't know whether people are just not thinking when they'll give something like that to someone. I don't know. But yeah, it's really delicate, very delicate. I just think you've got to be the ears. As I say, I think you've got to be there just to be able to listen and help them, really. And again, that's what we do. That's what we try to do as humans. I mean, not as mediums, but as, spiritualists, just the human form itself. We should be there because it's quite unsettling. I mean, the world at the moment is just so unsettling that people are in need of it. And they do use it. They use it because it helps them.
Yeah, definitely. And lovely Maria just put in there, and she's reinforcing that it's so important for people to express their grief unhindered and not judged.
No, absolutely, Marie. Definitely.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, it's true. And I told you this story before.
On my sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, carry on. No, you're the guest.
No,
Go on,
you're
tell
fine.
the story again then.
It was just a wee story that I told a while ago. I won't go into the details of it because it's a really personal, lovely story of friends of mine that had lost a child. They had lost a child, and through that loss, I got to know them better. I'd always known them kind of in a very kind of casual basis, but I got to know them much better and much more deeply after they lost their child. And it's continued. It's been amazing because they have shown me that wonderful resilience and faith, really, the faith that they've put in spirit to get them through it. And they have, and I'm so admirable. They are so worthy of mention because they're amazing. They were amazing people, and put me to shame, really, when I think of them. And that's just because you were the ears and you were listening. I was really privy to see that and be part of their journey on, which is lovely.
Yeah. And it's whenever I come up to beautiful Scotland, number one, whenever I'm traveling up to Scotland, I can feel my spirit soaring, literally, and I don't exaggerate this. It's just like it's lifting when I'm getting there. But of course, there's this very strong resonance, isn't there, running through all the Celtic backgrounds of that closeness to Earth, Mother Earth, and Spirit.
Yes.
It's always like the veil is that little bit thinner once you get past Berwick-on-Tweed.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's funny because I'm doing a genealogy thing at the moment. My son Jamie has just kind of checked in the old ancestry. I've been doing it and he's been doing it, but we've found out that we've got relatives on Rathlin Island, which is a wee island. We can see it from here. I can literally see it from our coast here, not that far away at all. It's just the Northern Irish. It's classed as Antrim, but it's actually an island that sits just off the north of Ireland. And I've always felt the connection, always felt that kind of pull, spiritual pull to that part of Ireland. So it was really lovely when we discovered it on Ancestry, because I thought that's just why that was falling into place all that time ago. It's wonderful. But yeah, it's really, you do feel it around. I feel it around here, Lawrence, because of the islands, the wee Inner Hebrides. The islands are lovely, and they're just a stone's throw from the beach here, really. And you can feel that lovely spiritual pull, if you like.
Yes. beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there's I'd not looked into it, but it was once mentioned to me, and I thought, oh, I found that fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to do with the geography of the land that you're in.
Yes.
And this resonance, because I know if I go to the Lake District, I'm at home, I'm perfectly calm, comfortable, and loving it. I go into Scotland, and the further up, because I was always coming up to Edinburgh, and
Yes.
then I got lured to Inverness. And I just went on this magical journey, because going through Edinburgh, I resisted the urge because I normally get off there. And I thought, no, I've got to stay on the train. And as the journey unfolded, I was thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. This is absolutely stunning.
Yeah. And it's easy to lose yourself, isn't it? It really is.
Hugely. Yeah, hugely. You can just sat there looking out the train window, and I was gone. It was just beautiful. I was looking into sort of like the background of the Celtic religion, way of life, philosophy, however it's referred to. And it was traced back to about 2000 BC to northern Germany.
Oh, wow.
And the tribes there, obviously, of the day, it was very male dominated. The males were the ones who went out and did the hunting, fought the wars, protected the village, and the women were basically chattel, which is what the world was like then.
Yep.
Until in one generation, there was a woman, and her name eludes me because it's quite a convoluted name. And she used to sit under an oak tree, and she started forecasting. And she would forecast harvest. She would forecast battles, where the enemies would be coming from. And in one generation, she lifted womanhood up from being chattel and serf to equals and also revered. This is where the tree symbol, the Yggdrasil, comes from. Because that Germanic tribe spread across to what is now Scotland, the Highlands, and Ireland, and to a degree in America.
Yeah.
I just found that fascinating, but I also found that just amazing that the power of spirit can change this whole tribe in one generation.
Yeah, amazing. Certainly is amazing.
Yeah.
Getting back to the womanhood thing, though, in Scotland, we are definitely in control. You know, the men, I mean, they do it all, they do much, but it's the women that hold them close. Definitely. So, I mean, my mother was an amazing woman, great woman, who raised 5 of us, and our 2 boys in particular. My 2 brothers were hellraisers. And my dad a wee bit that way when he was younger, but those 3 men just loved her. She was the one that would hold everything together, and as many women do in Scotland, we're of a breed, definitely, I think.
Yeah. There's a comment here from Stansted Farm down in New Zealand. We are getting about tonight. I'm saying hello from New Zealand. Many of us joining in are not here for loss. We are here to bear witness to spirit, to energize our daily work as translators, taking spirit into society and raising consciousness.
Yeah.
And the question is, does the idea that spiritualism is catering to loss risk leaving the organization and stuck and missing strategic opportunities? That's a very in-depth question.
It is. It really is, and thank you for that. No, I don't think it is in danger of the organisation losing its way with regards to loss or grief or whatever else we might want to call it, taking so much precedence over things that we need to be pursuing in the way of the spiritualist kind of route. No, I just think it is an important aspect as a spiritualist when we're communicating our faith and trust. It's a biggie for me, because it is actually very much part of why I would sit with someone or offer an address to someone. But no, certainly not. I wouldn't think it would risk leaving it stuck at all.
I do agree there. It is a fundamental part of the organisation.
Yeah.
That people will have their inroads in through loss, through grief. And that is a state and a place where we need to be able to allow people to express themselves, understand a bit. We'll never understand somebody else's loss, because each loss is totally unique to the individual. But we can understand, please, I'm not being demeaning. It's a little bit like a rite of passage coming into the movement. And so many of us found our way into the movement through loss, through adversity.
Yes, I think so.
That we must acknowledge that, and we must do our best to understand it, but we don't stick with that.
Absolutely.
It's quite interesting, because my mind is going all over the place at the moment with different thoughts. I'm just wondering, is the message all there is to spiritualism, and really going in depth with that. So look out tomorrow's address. It could be a hoolie.
Yeah, I'm gonna tune in if I can.
So yes, Francis, fully agree with you. We don't get stuck on that.
No.
But as I say, it is one of the biggest precursors to people investigating spiritualism.
Yes.
Because they naturally, spiritualism in its height was after the First World War.
Yeah, absolutely.
When millions of people, somebody walked out the door 4 or 5 years ago and they were never seen again. And they were lucky if they got a telegram. Not everybody who fell got generated a telegram. They just walked out the door 5 years ago and then...
Yeah. Never heard from.
Yeah. So, that was one of the big uplifts for spiritualism between the wars. That so many people had lost. When we say lost somebody, they truly had lost people, because they didn't know what had happened.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. And that was probably that at its biggest, a big influence at that time. The spiritual movement really did take off because of that. Yes.
Yeah. One of our watchers on the lovely YouTube, we were talking about the Celtic influence, and he points out there is also a pyramid in Scotland on the Balmoral estate. Yes, there is.
Very good, Dean. Yes. You need to come this side sometime, Lawrence. You need to come up here in the west side.
Definitely. I don't know. I just need a holiday now. It's getting that time.
Well, we're here.
Thank you. Definitely. I'm off to Holland in a few weeks' time for a weekend teaching. That's just going to be a wonderful break. So
I love Holland.
And the Dutch are great because they're so straightforward about stuff.
Oh my, they are. I like them too.
Oh, they don't dress anything up, do they?
No, they're very much, and I think it really is. It's quite embracing, because I love it. I love the way they are. Yeah, natural. Yeah,
it's invigorating.
What you see, what you get.
Exactly. Lovely Maggie Baker. A great deal of people who come into the movement are looking for comfort, understanding, and healing to help them deal with their loss. Yeah. We agree. It's what we touched on, Maggie.
Yes.
That is, a huge precursor to today's spiritualism.
Definitely.
Sorry, my mind's going somewhere here, and I'm quite sure I'm going with it, so I'm going to leave it alone.
Oh, Lawrence. It's been lovely. It's been a great wee night. I enjoy it.
Yes, it is. And so pleased because we had doubts because of the electricity supply up there.
Yeah, it's a bit dodgy where I am at the moment. Yes. And I thought, oh, come on, don't let it go. And it came back on, and I thought, okay, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And we have been, thankfully. Fingers crossed it'll stay that way. Yeah.
Plenty of 50p's in the meter. Wonderful.
Oh, goodness, I'm telling you.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
A little bit shorter than usual tonight, but that's fine. That's fine. Nothing's set in stone. But I feel like just the night's drawing to a close here. Yeah. I want to thank you again for being with us. It's always
my pleasure.
Face with you.
Oh,
and I want to thank people who have joined in on the comments online and those people who may watch in the future. So welcome, and thank you all.
Oh, thank you.
So we'll have a wonderful night.
Yes.
It's been a shared joy. Oh, hold on. Lovely Marion. We nearly left too early. There we go. The opportunities to bring healing through all aspects of spiritualism is invaluable. But just as important are the opportunities to grow, learn, and realize your own personal connection to spirit.
Very
Not
much.
preached at, but invited to investigate. Oh, I like that.
Absolutely, Marion. Yeah. I totally agree with it as well. And we have to do it at our own pace, For some, it takes a long time. And for others, there's so many that are very quick. And maybe not a lot of thought given to why they're there or what they're doing. So it's lovely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about investigating it, taking it at your pace. Definitely.
We've got a long history there in the pioneers that many of them came in to disprove spiritualism.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. And, that's healthy too, I suppose. And some of them that come in that kind of investigate things that perhaps don't sit easy with them. Because I've got friends like that who, as much as they respect what we do and respect what I do, have very different views on many things. Yeah. But we are friends, and we can talk it through, and that's the way it should be, really. And it's all very personal to every one of us. So, yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, definitely. Dean Phillips. A lot of questioning now. There must be more than life to death and coming to the churches. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dean, what you're saying there is a lot of questioning now. There must be more to spiritualism, to life and death, and just coming to churches.
Yes.
And I think there is. I think there's a great movement now because again, our world's unsettled, we're unsettled. So what's the first thing we do? We look for answers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll try again. It's all right. I had interpreted it. Thank you, Dean. Yeah, most definitely. As I say, when we are faced with adversity, people want to find answers. Some people want comfort, some people want succor, and some people want information, which is great.
Absolutely.
Getting more with this.
We need them. We need all those diverse voices, and as you say, we need to question things, and you have to make your own decisions at the end of the day. Nobody should make it for you, for sure.
Correct. So it's been a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, Scottish Electric, for holding up.
Yeah, they've done well tonight.
5 minutes. Well done. Got a vision
Yeah.
of a man up a pylon going, hurry up.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, thank you, Lawrence. It's been lovely. And everyone else as well. Thanks so much. It's been really nice joining you tonight from Drich and Wet.
Yeah.
Kintyre.
Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful service tomorrow in Glasgow.
And you.
And we will catch up again.
Yes, we will. We certainly will. Have a lovely one. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.